Welcome guys to another commander deck of mine. Time to show off more of my favorite commanders, well, the ones I built that I still kept around. I have about 20 as I keep saying. I find to 10 that's the sweet spot of that I actually play these decks, and I'll have to, makes me want to disassemble something, so if I have to, or if I really want to make something, I gotta make sure it's good that I want to take away one of my decks. So these are like the prime ones that I still have left. And we're talking about dinos today. Gishath's Son's Avatar. Back in 2017, I'm not usually a fan of stamped ones, but cards that I was actually there getting this card, I obtained this card on September 23rd or 24th, 2017. Super long time ago. But yeah, everybody loves big dinos. This one's my more preferred one. It's definitely old school and super tribal. It's just Big Timmy. Getting her out, and she has, we'll just read it, for an 8-drop, so 5 red, green, white. It's got haste as a 7/6, very important. It's got vigilance and trample. Trample is pretty important too. Whenever Gishath's Son's Avatar deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. And you may put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. So you're just going to hit big with her and hopefully reveal dinosaurs and make your board bigger. What's kind of sad is that, yeah, you've already done your combat phase after you get the dinos, but then you got a full turn for the dinos to come around. This being that perfect 7, I like to call the 7 check, is that you only need to hit 3 times with her and open to get commander damage, 21 commander damage, which is pretty important. And yeah, I've been one of my mainstays for a while. This is the deck I usually just throw to newbies who join in, and unless, you're kind of new to the game, well, I'm going to give you Gishath. You're going to ramp into Gishath, attack with it, get dinos, and play dinos. And this has just been a fan favorite. It's the one I give to like everybody. We'll start off with the meat of the bones, the dinos themselves. And what better dino than a Tali Primal Storm? This card is just so fun and hilarious. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of each player's library, then you may cast a number of spells. You steal from them without paying their mana cost. My buddy runs this as their deck, and it is brutal with Eldrazi's and just ramping it into a Tali. Great dinosaur to have. Speaking of ramp, Priest of Titania is a classic one. 1 and a green for 1/1 elf. Tap, add a green to your mana pool for each elf in play. That counts your opponents too. If your opponents have any other elves that ramp up, it's pretty good. I do run other elves in here. This is not in any order. It just kind of is what it is. Tyrannix Rex is a 7 mana, can't be countered 8/8 with trample, ward 4, and haste. Toxic 4 doesn't really matter too much. This is just the big beater. Being with ward 4 is pretty big. Like it. Furbo Elder is another ramp. Maybe we do ramp dinos. It's a little glare right there. What if we put them like this? Okay. This one's pretty nice. It's 3 mana as a 0/0 vigilance. Gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. I'm only a Jeskai deck, so this is only going to be a 3/3 at tops, or normally a 2/2, but I can tap for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Hopefully it taps for 3, but if it taps for 2, that's fine. So you play this on 3, where you have probably 3 mana, and then this can tap for 2, then you'll be at 5. If I just had, if I had a red permanent per se, and then I play this on 3 with 3 mana, then on turn 4 I play another land, that's 4 lands, and then 3 more mana, that's 7, and I could play like 1 ritual or like a lotus petal or something else to get Gishath out the following turn. That's like the dream with this card. And Marauding Raptor. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for quick 2-drop. But most importantly, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 2 damage to it. If a dinosaur was dealt damage this way, it gets bigger, +2, +0. Mostly, it's going to trigger my enraged creatures. I used to play super enraged creatures, but now that there's a lot of dinosaurs and it's not really that good, I used to do like 1 damage board wipes to everything and just trying to do it that way. I do have an infinite combo with the guy who makes copies of himself. See if I can find him quick. Oh, he's right after Polyraptor. Right after. We'll read Polyraptor. Enrage, when it's dealt damage, create a token copy of it. It's a 8 mana 5/5, but this would make infinite Polyraptors. But if I have no way to stop this loop, it just comes out as a draw. So you gotta watch out for that. If you flip into them from Gishath and you don't have anything, watch out for that. Make sure you have some way to stop this loop, but it can make infinite creatures. Elvish Spirit Guide, just giving me that 1 extra mana for when you need it is going to be key. Rampaging Frostodon. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Frostodon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller, and players can't gain life. Really good stacks piece. We are more big boys instead of small littles, so this will stop like the token decks trying to overrun us. Trumpeting Carnosaur is a newer one. Definitely pay 3, discard him from your hand, and deal 3 damage to any creature or planeswalker is pretty key. Or you can just flip them over, and on the ETB, discover 5, so pretty good flipping over from Gishath. Super fun. Wrathful Raptors has been pretty crazy. Whenever a dinosaur I control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dinosaur. So that, if I was going from the Polyraptor combo, if I had this out too, it would win the game. Because that would deal damage to one of my raptors, then deal damage to the token raptor, and then this would deal to face, to face, to face, to face. So there is an infinite combo in here. It's just not reliable and not what I do. But Human Monk, which is most importantly for this mana dork, it's not going to be Priest of Titania elf, but it is an elf that taps for a different color, very key. Apex Ultrasaur. When enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature I don't control, and then when it's dealt damage, it fights up to another target creature I don't control. This is usually an 8 mana 10/10, but like board wipe. Kill off the things I want. Deal 10 there, deal 10 there, deal 10 until he finally dies. Esper Sentinel is just going to draw me cards, which is going to be key. What happened? Okay. Yeah, just a good card in Naya in general, just to give me some card draw. Now, here's like the big one. Everyone kind of builds this instead, but if you're building this, it's more of comboing with this and not really Dinosaur Tribe, and I want it to be Dino typal. It's 6 red, green, white for a 9/9 Vigilance Reach Trample. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, untap all lands you control, so then you can use these activated abilities right away, or usually hold them up until the following turn because it's instant speed. Deal 3 damage to target creature, destroy artifact or enchantment. Normally, you don't want to gain life. This is more of a hopefully destroy Rhystic Study or Soul Ring, and then deal 3 damage to a pesky Esper Sentinel or something that's sitting around. Quartzwood Crasher, 6/6 Trampler for only 5. And then whenever one or more creatures you control with Trample deal combat damage to a player, create an XX green dinosaur beast creature token with Trample, where X is the amount of damage the creatures dealt this way. Lots of my guys have Trample, like Zakama we saw, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Gishath, which is important. The commander is able to do that. This light. Okay. Fix the light. Hopefully no glare. So this is going to just make more dinosaurs, which is always awesome. Galta and Marvin. I decided to buy this type of art, and I'm not really liking this art anymore because they came with the box topper March Machines. With the other one, I should have just kept it. But this is a crazy one for 3 green, green, white, white. So 7 mana for Dinosaur Vampire, 12/12, Trample again for the quartz art. Whenever you attack, so this doesn't need to attack when it comes out, choose one, create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among attacking creatures. Power is important. Or you create X 1/1 vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. That one's the most crazy part that I'd usually do, just so I have blockers to come in towards the end, but it depends on your situation. Rampiece, Zavala, super fun one. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power greater than each other creature's power. So she just fits pretty perfect within dinosaurs. You're going to have the biggest one. And then pay green tap, add X mana of any combination of colors where actually it's the greatest power among creatures that you control. Usually going to be pretty big. But she taps for 2 herself, if that's what it is. And from 3 to 6 is pretty good. Regal Behemoth. This one's amazing. Just got a nice new reprint that actually looks like a dinosaur and says dinosaur. Been running this card so many times. Got so much grief from people saying that's not a dinosaur. And yes, it's been a dinosaur this whole time. 5/5 trample for 6 mana. Become the monarch. And then whenever you tap a land while you were the monarch, you add an additional mana. So you double your mana, which you'll definitely be able to play Gishath right after that, as long as you're the monarch. Scion of Calamity is a 5 mana 5/5 with Myriad, and then when it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. This has been really doing a lot of work for me recently. You usually have someone open or enough for a 5/5 that will survive, and just destroying artifact or enchantments is great. Dealing a bunch of damage is great. Classic Goring Ceratops. So fun. Everyone needs to double check. Does what? 3/3 for 7 mana. Double strike, and when it attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike. So that's double the amount of Gishath triggers, which is always fun. Allosaurus Shepherd. Spell can't be countered for 1 mana. It's an elf, but green spells you control can't be countered. So now Gishath cannot be countered. Also, then you can pay 6 till end turn. Each elf you control becomes a 5/5 and becomes a dinosaur in addition to its types. But that doesn't come up often. Need Birds of Paradise, fixes your mana. Super good card. Elfish Mystic, ramping into it. Bonehorde Dracosaur has been actually insane. 5 mana 5/5 dinosaur dragon, flying for strike, but at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exile a land this way, you create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token. If you've exiled a non-land this way, create a treasure. So it's card draw, mixed tokens, just insane card. Flying. Patlanza, Sun Favored. I've seen people build this as the new dinosaur. I get it, it's 5 mana instead of 8 mana, but whenever this or another dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is that creature's toughness. Do this only once each turn, but if you flip into her from Gishath, then it works. Super fun. Arbor Elf, ramping in. But this one untaps a forest. I do run those auras that enchant land, so then I can tap it for even more. Simian Spirit Guide to go with Elvish Spirit Guide. Dockside Extortionist. See, I gotta ramp into Gishath. I mean, if you're running red, you're probably running Dockside. I'm loving these cyclers that are new. Pay 2 to mountain cycle them, but it's just a big dinosaur. Tranquil Frillback has been awesome. 3/3. Enters the battlefield, you may pay green up to 3 times. When you do, when you pay this cost 1 or more times, choose up to that many. Destroy an artifact or enchantment, exile a player's graveyard, or gain for life. Normally it's a 4 mana Rex Sage, that's a dinosaur. Carnage Tyrant, a classic, just beater. Probably getting a little outclassed now, but still can't be countered. Trample Hexproof has the trample. Kogla and Yodaro, 6 mana 7/7 ape dinosaur turtle. So it is a dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. It gains trample and haste till end of turn, or most importantly, it fights target creature you don't control. So you play this, or even when it enters, when you flip, it fights something. Or if you could pay 4, discard it from your hand, destroy up to 1 artifact or enchantment, then shuffle this back into your graveyard and draw a card. So super good, can't be countered because it's It's like those lands. It's a channel ability, they like to call it. So it's an ability, and they will have to have a stifle to do it, to counter it. Vexing Shusher, 2 mana, 2/2 Goblin Shaman, can't be countered, and then you can pay either a green or a red, and target spell can't be countered this turn. So Gishath, as always. Llanowar Elves, got a ramp. Bloom Tender, got a ramp. 2 mana, 1/1 for each color among permanents you control. Add 1 mana of any color. It's an elf. Orcish Lumberjack, classic card. 1 mana, 1/1. Sacrifice a forest, tap them. Add 3 mana of any combination of red or green mana to your mana pool. Hilarious card. Bronzebeak Foragers. Enters the battlefield for each permanent. Exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until it leaves the battlefield. And then you can pay X and white, put target card with mana value X exiled from Bronzebeak into its owner's graveyard. You gain X life. So it's a 4 mana 3/4 that snags 3 things, 1 from each of your opponent, and then eventually you can permanently put it away. But just being that 4 mana removes something it's very key. Non-land permanent is anything, so the heuristic studies, the whatever you need off is off. Thrashing Brontodon, sack him, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very good early dinosaur. One of the forest cycling, and when it enters it creates a dinosaur, but forest cycling is the most important. Sun Frill Imitator has been awesome. 3/3 dinosaur for 3. Whenever it attacks, you may have become a copy of another target dinosaur you control, except its name is Sunfrill Imitator and has this ability. What's nice is that it keeps the name, so it's not legendary creature. I can copy Gishath and get Gishath triggers, which is awesome. Fintorn Elves, another elf that ramps. Scytheclaw Raptor, he's been pretty good. 3 mana, 4/3, so good rate, but whenever a player casts a spell it's not their turn, it deals 4 damage to them, which is a lot. It kind of incentives that not to counter my stuff. Hulking Raptor, 4 mana, 5/3, but at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 2, so we're just trying to ramp into Gishath as fast as we can. It's got Ward 2. Runic Armasaur is a classic. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, you may draw a card. This happens a lot more often than you think, and this just draws you a crap load of cards. And then we got the new Atali, Primal Conqueror. Normally you don't flip, but when this enters, if you haven't seen it, each player exiles it from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells this way without paying their mana costs. Very good dinosaur. And that's the dinosaur tribe and ramp guys and docksides and the ones that I've picked. I will say this is probably the most untested deck just because LCI just came out, and so I'm testing out new dinosaurs, but I've played it a bit and I think this is the right list so far, the ones that I'm going to run. And we'll move on to our one and only sorcery. Finale of Devastation, classic. X green, search your library and or graveyard for a creature card with mana cost X or less, put it on the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get +X and gain haste, which sometimes comes up more than not on my dino deck because I'm just ramping big. But we'll get you whatever creature that we just saw that we want out. Sometimes Atali. Sometimes you just need like the Bloom Tender or some ramp piece. So it's very versatile. Now we got some instants. Desperate Ritual. We're that desperate of just casting Gishath, getting Gishath out there as fast as possible. I have had Gishath out there on like turn 1 or turn 2 before. Just try to do it as fast as possible. Worldly Tutor. What's great about Worldly Tutor 2, normally that is a normal good card, but you Worldly Tutor when you know Gishath's going to hit, and then you can put Atali on top or Zakama on top, and you get to play it for free. Enlightened Tutor, got to find our ramp pieces, our artifacts, or enchantments. They got Smothering Tithe in there, whatever you need. Heretic Ritual, went over that. Crop Rotation. I do run Gaia's Cradle in this deck, so this gets Cradle or can fix you certain colors. Those are instants. And we got our artifacts. Lion's Eye Diamond. I do own, I think, just one of these. It's in the Vintage Cube, so I'm proxying the rest of them. But I do have one at least. But this is what helps me get Gishath out turn 1. Adds 3 mana to your mana pool. You sacrifice this, you just have to discard your hand, but that's fine as long as we get Gishath out. Lion's Eye Diamond's worth it. Maskwood Nexus. This card, 4 mana, artifact. Creatures you control are every creature type. Same as for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Then you can pay 3, tap it, create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling, which is fine. But this makes all of my elves dinosaurs, or everything is a dinosaur. So any creature I flip off of Gishath, boom, it's a dinosaur. I get it. Also works with Priest of Titania. It makes all my dinosaurs elves, so Priest taps for a lot. Just a fun card all around. I love this card. It makes so many fun combos. Talisman of Impulse, green-red, Mana Crypt, of course, Talisman of Unity, Mox Diamond, Talisman of Conviction, Jeweled Lotus, need to get Gishath out there ASAP. Lotus Petal will do anything. Arcane Signet, Grim Monolith, Felwar Stone, Chrome Mox, and the Soul Ring. Check out this Chrome Mox. Pretty beautiful. Alright, that's our ramp package. Then our enchantments, we got Sylvan Library. Of course, just we're in Naya, so we don't really have blue card draw, and Sylvan Library is one of the top cards just to get there. Carpet of Flowers, we are going to be risky enough to run this because we need Gishath out now. Smothering Tithe, of course. Wild Growth and Utopia Sprawl, it's going to combo with that Arbor Elf. But Enchant Land and Enchant Lands for adds an extra. And then Impact Tremors just to keep dealing a little bit more damage here and there. Pretty standard there. We have one Planeswalker. I've been trying her out. Jessica, Thrice Reborn. 3 mana, 0 loyalty, but she enters the battlefield with a loyalty counter for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. So normally, I mean, I'm not going to be able to do this until I get Gishath out. It's just going to come out with 1. But that's all I need is for the 0. The -X is deals X damage to each up to 3 targets, which is not something I need. It has Partner, has Reborn. But the 0, choose target creature. Until your next turn, if that creature would deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple that damage instead. So what was I saying? At 7 mana, triple. This will one-shot somebody for 21 damage. I've been finding it super fun. I've done it once before. Fun card. Then we got our lands. Arid Mesa, fetch land, Stomping Ground. Need the shocks. Forest, Beautiful Promenade. Run your, I call them Battle Bond lands or multiplayer lands, I think people are calling them. Mana Confluence. Plains, Cavern of Souls, I mean, in a typal deck, of course. Can't have my 8-drop be countered. Wooded Foothills, Forest, Spire Garden as a Battle Bond land. Windswept Heath, fetch land. Beseiju, if you don't know this crazy card, channel, destroy artifact or enchantment or non-basic land. They get to find a land. Gemstone Caverns, getting Gishath out there as fast as possible is always key. The final Battle Bond land, City of Brass, Taiga, Savannah, Ancient Tomb, Plateau, This one is the real one. I don't change cards from decks. That's why I would have grabbed my Lion's Eye Diamond and moved it. But this way I have like all these cards that are normal. So this one is real. So every single deck tech you're going to see are going to be... I don't like changing cards through decks, but I do collect a lot of cards. So you'll see a lot of duplicates. Yavi Maya, been loving this card. Each land is a forest. Horizon Canopy is the only canopy I run. It's just classic. Green-white is normally what I need. Red is more of a splash. Mountain, Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, there's the Shocklands, Forest, Command Tower, the most broken land, and the Gaia's Cradle, of course. Let's check out those basics. We got only one of each, and then 3 forests. And yeah, that is Gishath. I love Gishath. This is definitely the deck I give to my newbies to play. Is, yeah, just play dinosaurs, get them out fast, beat them up, and then I have this proxy of... I don't know if you can see it well. I made this one, of course, it's from Jurassic Park. I always got to play the Jurassic Park theme whenever I'm playing Gishath. Super fun. Alright, we're going to hit up the tier list and see where Gishath lies. Alright, now we're on to my favorite. Alright, now on to my favorite decks, or like what I think is most fun, or one I'm going to keep the most, always to my heart. I just wanted to make this one a personal one. What I find most fun, it could be also pretty useful to you, of what I've piloted for a while. Gishath, I'm probably going to put in P tier. It's pretty linear. It's a Timmy deck, but I think I gotta have a Timmy deck for right now, and it's been dinosaurs. I was here when Gishath came out, got super excited about it. I'm sure as everyone did. Dinosaurs have been great. Just got revitalized with Lost Cavern of Sixilon. So it's been pretty great. And like I said, this is one of the decks I need to give out to new players that I want to give. Like, that's always an important part, is here, play this deck. If you've never played Magic before, this might be something that you can get into pretty easily. Just get Gishath out there and start swinging. Alright, now on a competitive level, let's see. Gishath does pretty decently well. Isn't like crazy S tier, anything like that, but definitely okay. I think I'm going to put it under B. It might be C, but I think it's a solid B. I think mostly why Jalira is a C is, yes, it's kind of like Gishath, but Gishath can have more things that can beat up. Like, Jalira is that one note Blightsteel needs to go through. It's more of a gimmick than a good deck, and Gishath's definitely better than that. And Bruno's definitely better than Gishath. Yeah, that's my whole tier list for right now. Let me know down below if you want to see any of my decks. I'll have a little voting going off of what you guys want to see next if you're still here live. And I'm going to be uploading pretty much all my decks, hopefully relatively soon. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them, because I sure am. It's fun talking about these decks, and hopefully you get inspired and check out more things here on MTG Place. I'll see you guys then. See ya.